All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a huge shakeup in the EV world. Seriously, this is a big one. It's a classic story, right? The long-reigning champ versus a super powerful new challenger, and how everything got turned on its head in just 1 year. So let me ask you this. Who's the world's biggest seller of electric cars for, what, a decade? The answer seems so obvious, right? It was always Tesla. But then, the 2023 numbers came in, and, well, let's just say the answer isn't so simple anymore. So you've got Tesla, the company that basically made EVs a status symbol. They're the pioneers. And then you have BYD, the challenger, who came in with a totally different playbook to take the top spot. So what did this clash of titans actually look like? Okay, let's get into the hard numbers. Get a load of this number. In 2023, the Chinese automaker BYD sold almost 2.26 million all-electric vehicles. I mean, that is just a mind-blowing figure. A truly massive leap. And here's Tesla's number for the same period. For the very first time, Tesla wasn't number one. They got outsold in pure battery electric cars over a whole year. That's a huge deal. So there you have it. It's official. There's a new king in the EV world, at least when it comes to sales numbers. The real question, though, is how on earth did this happen so quickly? Let's dig into the strategy that catapulted them to the top. So, what was BYD's secret sauce? You know, it wasn't just one single thing. It was this powerful combination, this winning formula that gave them this incredible momentum. And it all started right in their own backyard. Okay, everything starts with this. BYD's home field advantage. And we're not talking about a small advantage. They are an absolute juggernaut in China. And remember, China isn't just a market. It is the biggest, most cutthroat EV market on the planet. Owning nearly a third of that entire market, that's not just a good start, that's a rocket launcher for going global. You can really boil their whole strategy down to three key things. First, like we just saw, they used that insane dominance at home. Second, and this is crucial, they built a car for pretty much everyone. Not just the high-end luxury stuff, but affordable, practical cars that regular people could actually buy. That opened up a whole new customer base. And third, they didn't just dip their toes in the global market. They went all in, super aggressively. And when I say aggressive, I mean it. Look at this. Their global push was nothing short of explosive. Exports to places like Europe, Latin America, they just shot up by 200% in a single year. They blew past 1 million cars exported. Now, that is how you go from being a big deal in your own country to a true global powerhouse. Okay, but of course, this story has two sides, right? While BYD was on this incredible upward surge, Tesla, well, they started running into some pretty serious headwinds, the kind that can slow down even the most unstoppable-seeming company. It was kind of like a perfect storm for Tesla. They were getting hit from all sides. You had important tax credits in the US just disappearing, which definitely cooled off some buyers. At the same time, you had way more competition coming from everywhere. And on top of that, some of their biggest markets were just getting, full. There weren't as many new buyers to win over. All of that together led to their first ever yearly drop in deliveries. And this number, wow, this really puts a fine point on it. A 15% drop in deliveries in the last 3 months of the year compared to the year before. That's not just a little slowdown, that's a flashing red light signaling a loss of momentum. And listen, it's really important to remember this wasn't just about BYD. The whole EV playground was changing. Suddenly, you had all these new companies and the old-school car makers all getting serious about EVs. It meant Tesla wasn't just playing on an open field anymore. It was navigating a super crowded, competitive arena. So when the car market shifts this dramatically, it creates these big ripple effects. And one of the biggest places you see that is with the charging network. Seriously, the fight to sell cars is now changing the fight over who controls the plugs. For years and years, the EV world was basically split in two, right? You had Tesla with its own special plug and its own exclusive supercharger network. It was a massive perk for Tesla owners, for sure, but it also created this walled garden where Tesla was on the inside and pretty much every other EV was on the outside. But when the competition heats up, you can't really stay in your walled garden forever. Tesla's strategy had to change. So they started putting the more common CCS plug on their new cars. And then came the big one. They began opening up their prize supercharger network to everyone, no matter what brand of EV you drive. The walls started to crumble. And here's the bottom line. When you're not the only big player on the field anymore, having a charging network that everyone can use becomes absolutely essential. It's a massive strategic pivot, right? From something that was a unique, exclusive perk to something that's just a basic necessity to stay in the game. Okay, so let's pull back and look at the big picture here, because this is so much bigger than just a story about Tesla versus BYD. What we're actually seeing is the entire global car industry being fundamentally reshaped right before our eyes. And this is what the new world order looks like. The whole leaderboard has been shuffled. BYD is sitting right there at the top, and now it's Tesla and the legacy giants like Volkswagen that are in the position of having to play catch up. And this, right here, is the real takeaway. This is the story of a new automotive superpower emerging on the global stage. The incredible success of companies like BYD. It proves that Chinese car makers aren't just in the race anymore. They are now leading the charge in the worldwide shift to EVs. So, where does that leave us? Well, we've got a new leader of the pack. We've got fierce competition coming from every angle, and the technology is changing faster than ever. It really feels like the true battle for the future of how we get around is only just getting started. Yeah, the EV race has a new leader, but believe me, the finish line is a long way off.